conspiracy theories, the paranormal, UFOs, aliens, and all things strange and unusual. This is Black Lotus. So back when we were under the brand of Pop Views, this is one of the days that you couldn't be on the podcast. I had done a podcast, video cast with about haunted Las Vegas, and it was just something I did off the cuff because I had no plans for the podcast that day. And I decided, well, you know what? There's got to be a lot of hauntings around Las Vegas, so I looked into it, and there's a ton of hauntings around here.
There's a lot.
Oh my God! It blew my mind. Anyway, and so what I did is I think I did just like the top 8 haunted hotels on the Strip, and that ended up being our most popular video cast on YouTube, and it blew my mind. By the time I ended up losing all those videos off of that Pop Views channel, I want to say we had something like, what was it, 500 hits?
No, it was actually over 700. It was
700?
1,000.
Which I know to some YouTubers they get 700 hits within their first half hour of uploading something, but that was a big deal to us, you know. I mean, because we don't average that many hits, you know, and so. But unfortunately, when I made the transition over to Black Lotus, I ended up losing all those videos, and so we decided that it would be a good idea to kind of redo that episode. And then add to it with some other hauntings that we found.
Like I said, there's a lot of them to be found.
There's a ton of them around here. Just as a quick update about our podcast, we, as of today, we are no longer going to be doing the audio podcast. It is kaput. It is done. And that was just kind of a rational decision. Ralph and my wife and I were talking about it, and I don't know if you guys know, but my wife actually has a big hand in all this, and so she has a say-so in this stuff. But we were talking about it, and it just didn't make much sense to continue on with our Podbean audio podcast platform when we really weren't getting that many followers there. You know, we just started out the Black Lotus, and we already have more followers here at YouTube than we did at the podcast, and nothing changed with the podcast.
Right.
So we are going to be strictly a video cast from now on. We may come back as a podcast at some point, but nowhere in the foreseeable future, I think. But I just think it's going to be a smart move on our part to just kind of get rid of it and just deal with strictly the video cast on YouTube. But what do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
We can concentrate more on this.
Yeah, and I'm also going to be adding inter videos onto our video casts, like I'm going to do that today, and other pictures and that kind of make it a little more interactive, I guess, you know. So, but anyway, so I just wanted to mention that off the top. Speaking of our YouTube channel, if you have yet to do so, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell, because that'll notify you each time we upload a new episode. Also, off the bat, I want to talk about our swag page. We have a merch page now, and I'm going to drop a link to that down in the description, and you can check it out. And we have our little logo on T-shirts and hoodies and coffee mugs and travel mugs and notebooks and all kinds of stuff there. So check that out, please. So anyway, let's get on with it, man.
Yeah, which one do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Luxor.
And a lot of that happening there, huh?
Tell me about that.
Well, there's supposedly 7 ghosts that hang out in that place. And some of them are like construction workers. When it was being built, I guess a lot of people died.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that, yeah.
So I guess some of them are the actual construction workers that helped build the pyramid.
Okay.
So that's pretty makes sense. You know, a lot of times you hear that buildings are haunted by the people who died building it.
Okay.
So
you know, I don't know. Have you ever been in the Luxor?
Yes.
I mean, like up toward the rooms.
Oh yeah.
It's creepy, man. And I have a fear of heights to begin with. So I can imagine people falling to their death when they were creating.
It's a very, very odd feeling when you're up at top. It's a strange optical illusion.
It really is.
You feel the way. I don't know if you haven't been to it. It's basically a open pyramid. So all the hallways going up the pyramid are open to the center. So it's just a big empty space in the center of this pyramid.
Right. And it's
So-
not like you can see like the floor below you, because it goes just like it would in a pyramid, just kind of,
Right.
And yeah.
So all you see is floor all the way down at the bottom.
It's creepy, man. I went there, and the person I was with went, "Oh, look at this," and went up the railing, and I'm like, "Fuck that," and kind of backed up against the wall. I couldn't deal with it. It just,
Well, I guess 2 people have like jumped off of that.
I don't doubt it. I don't
I
doubt
think
it.
they have glass there now. I think they've changed that.
Oh, do they? Do they?
One of them jumped off and landed on the from the 26th floor. Can you imagine that?
Oh man. Oh.
And if you haven't been to the Luxor, think about 26th floors looking straight down. It's you feel like you're going to be pulled over.
My palms are sweating just thinking about that.
Yeah, I guess she landed on a buffet. That's where the food court is now.
Oh no.
Okay. I guess she was in her 30s. It was like in 1986, soon after it opened.
Really?
She was a prostitute that had just found out she had HIV.
Oh no.
And decided to take her life. So now she wanders the 26th floor, and people say you feel somebody wandering behind you, like you're being followed.
Really?
And you'll feel like breath in the back of your neck.
That's all I need with my anxiety of heights anyway. Good God, to have something breathing on my neck. Good Lord.
And I guess another person jumped off from the 14th floor. Yeah. So, and there's all kinds of cold spots and stuff there. When you're walking around on those floors.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to go check them out, just see if you actually feel anything. But people say they do.
Huh.
And then there's also a couple of people who died. At least one person who died from the Nile ride back when they had the river ride through it.
You were telling me about that. I didn't even realize they had them now, right? I know that the Venetian has that little riverboat thing that you can get on, but I didn't know that the Luxor ever had.
Yeah, it closed it like in 2012 or something like that.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Somebody died of Legionnaire's disease.
Oh, really? From
Yeah,
the water?
from the water.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I guess 2 people have been sick before, and they tried to treat the water and stuff, but I guess they didn't do a good job.
Were they putting their hands in the water and putting that in their mouth or something, or what were they doing?
Have you ever been to Disneyland or any log jam ride? Or
Well,
anything?
yeah, I
Kids
suppose
can
it gets
do
the
they
mist and-
splash.
yeah.
And,
I
you
suppose.
get wet. And I could see that happening.
Huh.
Not that it was a very fast ride. Trust me, I went on. And
I've heard that Disney has actually had a problem with the Legionnaire's disease.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, supposedly it's cursed because of the Sphinx is facing the wrong way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've
really?
heard that when they built it, you're supposed to have it built like facing west, and it's facing east, or vice versa.
It's a feng shui thing, kind of
Right,
thing.
and it's facing the wrong way, so that's why they have cursed.
Huh.
And supposedly they can actually rid themselves of this curse if they put a all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid.
Oh, great. So like the Illuminati.
Exactly. It's like, well, I'm surprised that hasn't happened already.
Right.
Blame it on the curse.
Oh, man.
So what else we have?
Let's talk about Caesars.
Ooh, yeah.
I've heard that the ghost of Jimmy Durante haunts Caesars.
Cha-cha-cha-cha.
Yeah, and he just wanders around. He doesn't really do much, but people have seen him quite often.
Interesting.
But and I've also heard that they have an issue with their water fountains, and apparently that's been fixed now.
Oh.
But back when they had the not water fountains, but the water faucets in the bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
And that's been fixed now because they've gone to those automatic water fountains where you stick your hands under it and it automatically comes on. But back when they had the you actually had to turn the handle on. People witnessed the handle actually moving up and turning on, and it would always turn on to the hot end of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it would just like turn on, and then when people would go up near it, the handle would go down and turn off. That's strange.
That's really strange.
But
Well, I know there was the story too about a craps table that I guess paying out to people. It was cursed in the opposite direction, cursed for the hotel.
was that at Caesars?
That was at Caesars. Yeah,
okay.
I guess for 13 months this table was paying out so much they finally ended up taking it out and destroying the table.
And people are the people that run the casinos are nothing if not superstitious.
Yeah.
And so, I can see a casino manager going, what the hell is going on here? I'm losing money. Take that thing out of here. And I guess they burned it. They actually burned it.
I'm surprised it took them that long to
Right.
actually, get rid of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But and then there was Circus.
Yeah, that's where the mother killed the son, and then herself.
Now, evidently, that's the rumor. But so we don't know for sure if that actually happened or not. But that's the big rumor, and apparently a lot of employees have actually run into this woman and her child roaming around the casino, and like especially like in the back kitchen.
That's an interesting place to be finding it.
Yeah, it seems weird that's where they would be roaming, considering they were guests there. But
Well, I guess they hear all kinds of unexplained cries too.
Do they?
For cries for help, and that there's even been reports that people have said in the room where she stayed and a couple of rooms near it that the mirrors would fog up and they'd see "Help Me" written on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
I thought that was kind of creepy.
Huh. That's strange.
I want to go stay in one of those rooms now.
I wonder how easily that would be hoaxed by, like, say, a maid or something like that, so that, so that they could do something with their finger and write "Help Me," and then so that when it fogs up, when people take a shower, it would show. I wonder
That
if
would
somebody.
freak me out.
I wonder if they're just messing with people, But yeah.
Mean old maids.
How about the Excalibur? What do you have on that?
Well, I guess Excalibur is pretty haunted, but the 10th floor is the one you'd want to stay away from.
Okay.
'Cause that's where everything is. It really feels like you're being followed, and they said there's even been reports of like people going into their room and their furniture's been all moved around.
Really?
Can
Okay.
you imagine that? Walking out to the hall, go get ice, and come back in, and all of a sudden your furniture's not where you left it.
The only weird thing that ever happened to me at the Excalibur was I went there right after it opened, and I mean within about a month after it opened. And the girl I was with, we weren't dating or anything like that, but we got the same room and everything. And so what we did is we went there and dropped off our luggage, checked in the motel, dropped off our luggage into the room, and then we went out and just went out to play. And we were gone all night long. We come home, we're stumbling drunk. Came back to the room, we're stumbling drunk. And we went to the right room because we had one of those key cards and it opened up, immediately. So we didn't have it. It's not as though we went to the wrong room. But we went to the room and they had double booked the room. And we walked in on a couple that were doing the nasty.
Oh, why?
So that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me at the Excalibur, but we got a free suite out of it. It was nice, we got this beautiful room out of the deal for an apology, a big comp.
I wonder what they got.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway,
Well, I guess too they have problems with the electronics not working. So I wonder if that was the issue.
I don't know, but
Was it on the 10th floor?
I don't recall. I know we ended up on one of the top floors in the suites. That's all I remember.
Well, how about the Tropicana?
Yeah, let's talk about the Trop.
Okay. Now, there's a haunted tiki mask supposedly in the Tropicana.
Yeah, I've never seen this thing. I saw a picture of it, but I've never seen the
It's
thing
kind of
in
weird
person.
looking.
Yeah.
But I think tiki masks already have a kind of weird voodoo-y, scary look to them.
So what does it do?
Well, I guess it's a lot of the stuff that goes on, they blame on the tiki mask at the hotel. But people have now becoming in a habit of coming and taking their pictures with it, kind of like selfies with it and stuff like that. But I guess that's not a good thing because it usually ends up being blurred by like purple smoke or mist covering the mask.
Really?
So people have trouble getting a picture of it with it.
Huh.
So
I wonder why
found
that is.
Interesting. I don't know. But I guess it's if you touch it, you'll end up with a purple rash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be brave enough to touch it and see
Yeah, I don't know.
getting a rash or not. But there's a story, I guess, that goes with this, that some of the weird stuff that happens there, that there was this lady and she was there staying the night with some friends and they left early. So she ended up staying the last night by herself.
Okay.
And she's laying in bed and she's trying to sleep, and she can't get out the feeling that she's being watched. So finally she falls asleep, and all of a sudden she wakes up because she feels it again, that she's being watched. And when she wakes up, there's a man standing next to her bed with the back to her, facing the wall. And she screams and reaches for the lamp and turns on the lamp, and as soon as she does, the guy disappears.
Oh, well, of course. Damn
He didn't want to
ghosts.
be seen. So yeah, I guess she got free. But this is like the type of stories they have going on there, and they actually offered her another free room for another stay in the same room, free for a night. And of course,
Well, yeah, well, I'm sure she turned it down. Why would she want to stay in a haunted room, when she's, yeah.
yeah, she
weird.
denied, or she said no, thank you.
Yeah, I can
politely.
imagine. I certainly wouldn't stay there.
So, excuse me.
And then next up, we're going to talk about the Flamingo. And the Flamingo is supposedly haunted by its founder, Bugsy Siegel, who was an old mobster. And he was really the one responsible for Las Vegas. He's the one who founded, and the Flamingo, from what I understand, was the first casino here.
And from what I hear, there's a lot of people that see him.
Yeah, a lot of people. I myself have been there, and in their courtyard there, they have a statue of Bugsy Siegel, and it's in this little kind of a garden courtyard. And this is before I knew that the place was even haunted. But I remember going and standing in front of the statue, and they have like a little plaque, and it kind of tells about the history of Bugsy. And as I'm standing there, I got a weird feeling there, and I get chills up my spine, kind of thing. Ralph and I were talking about doing some video casts where we actually go to some of these places and take an EMF recorder, and that's one of the places I'd like to take this thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we need to invest in an EMF. We both downloaded this EMF recorder, and what it is, it's an electromagnetic frequency recorder, and evidently it'll spike if there's some sort of paranormal influence around it. But we were just taking it around the house, and it was kind of creepy, man.
Well, yeah, this had a VMF2 on it, which is is that what you call it? But anyway, it's
EVP, the voice recorder.
It tells you if there's saying something. And when I downloaded it, I was home alone, and I downloaded it because I was like, oh, I got to try this one out. And I came into this very room where we're sitting, because it went all around the house, and it seemed like the further I got into this room, the higher it went. And I got over right to where he sits, and the word husband shows up on the screen, which, I mean, you're married, so that's kind of strange.
That's very weird. But honestly, I don't really trust the ones you can download, the apps you can download. So I'd really like to get, they're not really expensive. I mean, like I said, I found one for like $20. And so I think we're going to pick one of those up and kind of take a video camera out to some of these places. And that is one of the places I definitely want to hit, is that little courtyard, because I swear I felt something weird crawl up my back that
day. They say that he's by the pool, which is by the courtyards and stuff. They said he's in the presidential suites, and they say also the wedding chapel, because where the wedding chapel is, that's where he used to actually, his living quarters were.
Oh, is that right?
They built the chapel
really
there. So I guess he's still wandering that area a lot.
Huh.
So yeah, it'd be very interesting to go.
Tell me about Bally's, man.
Well, as we all know, Bally's was originally the MGM.
Right.
And in 85 people died in the fire.
Yeah, the big fire that happened there.
I don't remember what year that was.
That was back. I want to say it was back in the 90s, early 90s, maybe.
Maybe.
And yeah, like 85 people died in the thing.
85 people died, and so now they say that there's a lot of those people still wandering around. You know, they say you'll hear screaming in the wells of the stairs, the stairwells and stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll smell smoke, and you can't figure out where the smell of smoke is coming from. And that would, to me, would be very, very scary.
You know, I mean, it was really a tragic accident that this happened in the first place. I mean, and all those people died. How awful, you know? But
and it's mostly on the higher floors. On the 17th floor, you actually supposedly can hear a mother screaming for her child.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would be spooky, creepy, and sad all at the same time.
Yeah. Wow. Huh.
There's also supposedly an elderly woman who sits by the slot machines, and you can tell her shirt and blouse and stuff are all on fire, so she's all aflame sitting there.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
That would be scary to see.
God, creepy, man. And then there's the Westgate, which was formerly known as the Las Vegas Hilton, and that's where Elvis Presley performed for, what was it, something like 7 years?
Yeah, a long time.
Long time.
He did a lot of performances there.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact number.
And Elvis has not left the building. Evidently, he's still wandering around there. He's still wandering around there, even after the. I mean, because I wouldn't say they tore down the Hilton, but they totally refurbished the whole place.
Right.
It totally looks different now. But yeah, he's still hanging out.
Yeah, supposedly in the showroom and backstage, and then the upper floors of the hotel again. It seems like a lot of these ghosts like the upper floors.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Wonder why that is, actually. I seriously wonder about that. But yeah, that's all on the Strip. Before we go on, wasn't there something else that happened at the Hilton, as I recall? I don't really have any notes on here. I'm just going off my memory.
Not that I remember.
I could have swore there was something else.
Just people seeing Elvis. I mean, what
Yeah.
more do you want? I mean,
Yeah.
Of course, how hard is it to see Elvis? I mean, he hasn't died yet.
Well, you walk down the Strip and you'll see about 8 of them. You can take pictures with them. But anyway, let's get on, get away from the Strip, and let's go outside Vegas, out toward, what is the name of that area? The Signal Point? I can't remember. But anyway, just as you're coming in into Nevada from California, there's an area there, and there is a casino there, kind of an outpost kind of casino.
Right.
And
One.
there's actually 2 of them right across the street from each other now. But back when, it was just Whiskey Pete's.
That was back in the 70s it was built.
Yeah, and it was almost like a tradition. If you lived in California, and as you're coming in, you got to stop there, and as you leave, you got to stop there if you can afford it after you leave Las Vegas. But yeah, but I remember stopping there quite a few times, and I never witnessed anything there. But apparently, a lot of people have seen Whiskey Pete hanging out. The founder of the casino.
Actual person who built the casino.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess he was a moonshiner too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought that's kind of cool.
Huh.
Moonshiner turned gambler. I'm sure he was probably connected. If it was one of the first, he probably wasn't connected with the mob yet. So
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
doing his own illegal running and stuff behind.
Sure.
Very
Because
interesting.
casinos are nothing if not legit.
That's where
Completely
the Bonnie
legal.
and Clyde card is too.
Oh, is it there now?
Yeah.
I remember back in the 80s, coming here back in the 80s, and I want to say it was at the Flamingo.
I don't remember, but yeah, it's there now, and they say it's pretty creepy around there too.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be just to see the car. It'd be creepy.
I saw, when I was kind of looking into this thing about Whiskey Pete's, I saw this one guy who had posted, like, as a comment on the blog or article, and he had said that he was there and he saw almost like a flip card thing where it started off, he saw people in Old West garb, and then it went up through like the 20s and the 30s, and he said he swears that he wasn't drunk, but it was almost like a panoramic thing. As he looked around the casino, he saw people from all different eras.
Interesting.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Yeah. Kind of strange, but yeah. And then there is another hotel, and I don't know where this is. I've never been there.
It's across from the Stratosphere.
Oh, so okay, it's okay. It's toward the older part of the Strip. Okay,
It's part of there.
and it's called the Oasis Motel.
The Oasis Motel. I guess people like to check in but not check out.
So tell me, suicides or something happened?
Yeah, a lot of people go there to kill themselves. I
Really?
guess that's the place to go. So our version of maybe the Japanese suicide forest.
Okay.
We get Oasis Motel.
And a couple of famous people didn't they?
Yeah, there's just a lot of. It was shut down at one point for prostitution, and then they reopened again, and they started having all these suicides. And one of them was Stu Ungar, who was a poker champion.
Okay.
And another one was David Strickland, which all you people will know from Suddenly Susan TV show.
Yeah, I've never seen that. I don't
It's
know
an
who that is.
older one, but
Okay.
yeah. I guess they both checked into room number 20 and hung themselves.
Sounds like a Stephen King story.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
does.
that's weird.
Room 20. But yeah, I guess a lot of people say that the place is very haunted, that people who go there and kill themselves literally don't check out, that their spirit stays there too.
Really?
So
That's
very interesting. I would like to say that's another place I'd like to go by and see what kind of things it reads.
Yeah. And then, but let's go back to the Strip for a second, and let's talk about the corner of Flamingo and Coval. And that apparently is where Tupac Shakur was assassinated.
Yeah, he was gunned down right
Yeah.
there. He was stopped for a red light, and that's the last of it.
Wow. And Ralph and I were talking about that, and I seem to recall that he was actually killed in one of the casinos there. For some reason, I want to say it happened on like the escalator, and I don't know why I want to think that, but yeah, apparently he was in his car.
Yeah.
And did somebody drive up to him or walk up to him?
He stopped at the light and I don't remember exactly how it happened. I think people jumped out of their car and did it, if I remember correctly. Very gangster style.
Yeah.
But supposedly people still see him walking around that corner.
Yeah.
There's been many sightings of him. But as for you remembering his death, that's a Mandela effect thing, I'm sure.
I want to think it is, actually. Yeah. I wonder if when the whole thing was reported, maybe the news report I saw, something, they had some sort of film footage of the escalator at like the Flamingo or something. So I don't know. Maybe I don't recall. But, as far as Tupac Shakur, I wonder how many of these sightings are actually these celebrity impersonators that you see on the strip a lot. Because I can see one of them doing something like that, hanging out on the corner where he was gunned down, and for photo ops.
Well, yeah, I saw Jack Sparrow right here over at the bus stop.
There you go. Yeah.
He was waiting for the bus.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I figured the ocean's a faraway ways.
Guys, if you're coming to Las Vegas and you've never been here before, most definitely hang out on the strip for a while, because you will just be, your jaw's going to be on the ground with some of the things you're going to see. And Fremont Street is, oh man, Fremont Street is even wilder, because then you get people that are half naked, if not almost completely naked, and that kind of thing, So yeah, a lot of street performers and that kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, so Vegas is kind of a cool place to come just to witness the wildlife, I think, But
speaking of a wildlife, you said you had some stories about Liberace.
Well, yeah, the Liberace Museum, where it used to be located. Now, from what I understand, it's been moved. But where it used to be located, Liberace, the ghost of Liberace was seen there pretty often. And then there was a restaurant. I remember that. Do you remember the name of the restaurant?
Trivy.
The what?
Trivy Garden.
Trivy Gardens. Anyway, he's apparently, when he was alive, where the Liberace Museum was, that was his house, and so he would take his guests over to this restaurant pretty often, so he is often seen there.
Well, it makes sense why he's seen there. I didn't know that where he would take guests.
Yeah.
It makes total sense why you would see him walking. I was like, why would they see him at a restaurant instead of just where
Yeah. Have you ever been to the Liberace Museum?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, man! Some of the costumes and the pianos, just unbelievable. He has this diamond encrusted piano. Man,
if you have that much money, you have too much money.
Good God! I mean, I can see the thing being covered in rhinestones, but these are actual diamonds. Unbelievable, man! And some of the costumes he would wear, these long flowing robes and stuff like that, man, beautiful. I can't imagine the work that went into this stuff. Oh my God!
People have no idea how much work goes into.
Oh man!
How much time and why they cost so much.
Yeah, Elton John, he does a gig here, and he's got a solid gold piano. And you talk about too much money, Good God, I don't know that he paid for it though. I'm not sure if he paid for it or the casino paid for it. But
well, a lot of that's publicity.
Oh, I'm sure.
Thing,
Yeah. And I'm sure it's just gold plate. It's not as though it's solid gold. That would make for a kind of a crappy sounding piano, actually, I would imagine. But yeah. But anyway, so yeah, Liberace. He apparently still haunts that location and as well as the restaurant there. So yeah. Tell me. Now, this place has been torn down, apparently, now. But tell me about the 666 house, and that's outside of Vegas.
Yeah, I found out about this place, and I was all anxious to go visit it, and that was when I really wanted to go to, but I guess it got demolished. Supposedly, there was a little girl who was 8 years old, and she was kidnapped. And after, they started doing research and investigating it, it led them to this house. And they walked into this house, and there was pentagrams all over the place, and Ouija boards, and that type of stuff. And they found a jar with a little girl's heart in it.
Oh, really?
Now, supposedly she haunts this house, and if you look, there's pictures online of actually her peeking out the window of one of the pictures.
Oh, really? I'll try to find a picture of that and throw it up on this.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I guess a lot of people have seen it and heard her. I guess when they were trying to take the building down and the construction workers were getting ready to demolish it, they would go in there and hear voices of a little girl telling them to kill themselves.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. That'd be pretty scary to me. I don't care how big of a tough construction worker you are.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you walk into a house and you hear this little voice going, "Kill yourself." You know, I think I'd be ready to leave. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because I've had too many ghost experiences. But yeah,
Especially the voice of a little girl. How creepy is that? You know.
of course.
Jeez.
Well, of course it has to be a little girl. You know, best stories.
Yeah.
Creepy
Yeah.
little ones. Speaking of little ones.
Yeah, let's get more out toward our area of Las Vegas. We don't actually live in Las Vegas proper. Las Vegas is in an area that's called Paradise, and we are in an area called Whitney, which is right next door to that, east side of that. And in our area in East Las Vegas, there are two schools that are just not too far away. Maybe I want to say it's maybe 3 miles away from us here. And the first one is Edwards Elementary, and evidently, fourth grade teachers and students are haunted by this girl in white. Why is it? Why do the ghosts always have to be in white? It's a lady in white. It's a girl in white.
Casper set the standard.
Is that what it is? Yeah. But anyway, so they're haunted by this girl in white, and evidently it's rumored that she was a fourth grade student back in 1990, and she ended up dying at the school during her first year there, and. But yeah, she's apparently this little girl will follow around the fourth graders.
Only the fourth graders.
Only the fourth graders, and evidently only the fourth grade teachers and the fourth grade students can see this thing.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. And on top of that, the girl is often seen around room 26. And also there's a computer room that she hangs out in too. So yeah, kind of weird. Yeah. But then not a block and a half away, maybe 2 blocks away, there's another school there, and it is the Del H. Robinson Middle School. And evidently there's a ghost of a janitor there who really kind of terrifies the kids. And he's seen wandering around the hallways with bloody hands. Now, I couldn't find the history behind this. You know, I mean, like I was able to find out the history behind the little girl. And evidently that's a true story. This girl did die at school back in 1990. But yeah, this janitor wanders around the hallways with bloody hands, and he follows people around and follows everybody around, staff and students alike. And he's also known to follow the students home. And then, but by the time they get home, then the spirit disappears just as they get home. But yeah, apparently this thing really terrifies people. And there's a lot of accounts of this thing, you know. But yeah. So, and then another thing that happens out here, and this is closer to us. It's in Henderson, which is right next door to us. There is a park there, and it's called Fox Ridge Park, right? Yeah. And there's a playground on this area.
Just a little one.
Just a little for like little kids kind of thing. And evidently there is a set of swings there where people have reported being in the park between the hours of like 10 and 12.
Yeah, like usually back close to midnight is when it happens.
Yeah, and these swings, often they'll see one of the swings swinging. And it's not the wind, because first of all, it's just one swing that's swinging. And the other thing too is that it's not as though it's just swaying in the wind like that. It's actually as though the chains actually bend, as though the kid is, you know, swinging, pulling back on the chains and stuff like that. And so yeah, they a lot of witnesses have seen this. Now I've watched a few YouTube videos on this, and nobody has been able to capture this.
Of course not.
And they say one of the reasons is because, you know, when they're filming this, I saw this one paranormal team, and they kind of drew a crowd. And, people are kind of wondering, what the hell are you doing, And apparently it's a big stoner hangout, too.
Especially at midnight or 10, wherever the lights and everything else. People are going to wonder what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
It's on the corner of Fox Ridge and Valley Verde, too, which is a pretty big area right by the freeway and everything. So it would be pretty noticeable.
Well, and speaking of the freeway, evidently the history behind this little boy is that he was hit by a car, and some people say it was a drunk driving accident and whatever. But yeah, ever since then he's been evidently hanging out in the park. And apparently, if you see this thing, and you'll see the apparition, it's not just the swing moving on its own.
Right.
If you see the apparition, they say stay away from it, because people who have approached it, apparently his face turns into like a demon thing, and his eyes turn red, and so just stay away from the thing. Take a look at it, go, hey there, I'm gonna stay over on this side. Oh yeah, hell yeah, keep filming, but I wouldn't go near it. There's another thing that happens in that park, and evidently it's a woman who is, again, in white, roaming around the park in the fields of the park, and she's calling out for her children. She can't find her children, which is kind of creepy, but yeah. And so but yeah, I wonder, because apparently the park is known for its stoner population at nighttime, and I wonder how much of this is actually the derivative of marijuana.
I don't know. I usually don't see ghosts when I'm stoned. I usually just get the munchies.
So, excuse me.
I found all this one a very interesting one to look into, because there's a lot of places now I want to go visit.
Yeah. And like I said, I'd like to grab a EMF and a EVP recorder and go do this. I think that would be
a camera and go do a little investigating.
Yeah. Because again, I mean, after looking into this, there are so many weird places in and around Vegas.
Yeah, and there's places we haven't even mentioned on this one. We could do a whole other show probably on places that are around in Nevada.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even like the tourist spots, we were talking, we had talked about bringing up Madame Tussauds. Right. Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, apparently it's haunted. Yeah. Apparently the Mob Museum is haunted. Yeah. So, I mean, we should most definitely do that sometime. I think that would be a really interesting show, And, granted that we can get the permission from the places, to be able to film.
Ghostbuster outfits?
Yeah, right. There you go. Ghostbuster outfits with our little
logo
on it. But yeah.
Yeah, if we do, we definitely have to have shirts by then that, like, you wear our shirts to go ghost hunting. Yeah. Hey,
so our next show we're doing is going to be another interview with a UFO witness. And
interesting.
Yeah, and her name is Susan, and we're recording with her on Sunday, I think it is. But yeah, we'll be uploading that show on Tuesday. But yeah, she has a pretty interesting UFO account.
I'm liking these interviews.
I am too, man.
Hopefully we'll get some more.
And speaking of that, I'm going to drop a link on the bottom where you can click on it and go fill out a 4-question form, and we'll get back to you. And what we're doing was we're looking for UFO witnesses, Bigfoot witnesses. If you've had paranormal experiences with ghosts or whatever, if you want to talk about a conspiracy theory, we're more than open to that. And we promise not to make fun of you. So, because that's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. So we are looking for guest interviewees. So smash that link and go check out that form and submit it, and we will get back to you within a day about this. But yeah, I don't think we have any more interviews lined up after Susan, but we're certainly open to it. So let us know. So, but anyway, let's get out of here for the day. What do you say?
All right.
Good. So folks, thanks a lot for watching. And again, we're not doing the podcast anymore, the audio podcast. We're strictly doing the YouTube video cast. And I think that's going to turn out to be a better thing for us, and also for our viewers at because we could put more energy into the video cast now. So, but anyway, so until next time, keep thinking and question everything. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell so you can get a reminder every time we upload a new episode.